culture. Yeah, what up, it's your boy Alley Cat.
What up, twin?
You are now watching the culture.
One and only.
You ready? Yeah, what up, it's your boy Alley Cat.
And I am Twin. Y'all know that.
And you're now
Watching.
the culture.
That's right.
So this is what we're gonna do today. Today's topic is
Being black in America can be hazardous.
hazardous to your health.
That's right. So you know being black in America can be hazardous to yourself, right? We could tackle this in about 4 or 5 different categories. That's why I love it, because it's kind of broad. Let's take
And it's deep.
Not very deep. I mean, we ain't gonna go nowhere else but deep. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do.
Hey yo.
Hey,
But that's
yo.
what we do. You
That's
heard?
it. That's
So
it.
now,
I hope the ladies maybe took that a different way. I hope no men did. I mean,
but it is what it is.
record. Yeah, but
and we grown men, so we don't need to say no homo.
and
So
they know me for being serious.
so
It's
let's
a
get back
serious
to the topic.
All right, this is a very serious topic. Being black in America can be very hazardous, whether it's health-wise, whether it's dealing with the police, whether it's the gentrification in your neighborhood, or whether it's the life expectancy from a black person to any other race. Which one would you like to tackle first?
Ooh, it's so broad.
I think we should tackle the life expectancy.
Life expectancy of a black man is, I think, the lowest.
I mean, it is. Yeah, as far as a white man, the average is 20 years.
Well, he has no
Between
stress.
black and white.
He don't really have no stress.
You don't have no stress?
Ask a poor white person, would they rather be a black man? They'll tell you, hell no.
I think it was Chris Rock who said this.
I mean, but it's the truth. You know, in society, you got the black man, you got the dog, and then you got all the other races, then the white man, because, you know, we sit lowest on the totem pole. Animals have more rights than us. But now, go ahead.
So if the life expectancy is 20 years, that's the number, right? That means white people live longer, average on 20 years. What is some of those stressful, areas that we would be dealing with that makes our life expectancy very short?
The political areas is the best to start with. Let's
Okay.
talk about the hazards of the police, living, the police.
Because it's true. I mean, soon as the sirens turn on, it could be your blinker was out. It could be something wrong with your
headlight is
registration.
out.
You always think of the worst as a black man.
And you
in
might
this
get
country.
gunned down.
I mean, that's the worst case scenario, which we feel like is frequent. It's not as frequent as we think, but since we live in a black community, the harassment that we go through leave us very stressed and depressed afterwards, the after effect of it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my thing is this, right? If a police stops you, I mean, should you just obey every command? Or should you know your rights?
Well, you should know your rights, and you should teach your children their rights, and you should teach them how would you say, obey the law.
Because you want them to make it home safe, right?
Make it home safe.
Okay.
So you need that.
So no matter how much the police disrespect, say some wise stuff, say some disrespectful stuff, you want your son to come home safe.
Well, now you have this new thing, like I think it's on Siri, if you have an iPhone,
Right.
where you could say something and the phone automatically starts recording.
Oh, that's dope. I always recommended that. They got dash cams that you also could put in
Yes,
your car that start recording. Or like he said, it's a new app. Soon as you start talking, it turns on and start
Yeah,
recording.
like you say something and you give it a signal and it comes on through Siri.
Nah, no
and it
doubt.
automatically starts recording once you say it to the phone. So that's one. Then you're talking about in the community, the food.
Oh man, the food is just it bewilders me about how we walk a supermarket, and I don't know if y'all saw this on IG, but I was talking about artificial light, incandescent and fluorescent light on the vegetables and fruits. But that been for years, right? Or the wax that's on the apples, which help it sustain the color and make it look very fresh. But the organic food versus the non-organic food being right next to each other. And these food companies that is ran by large corporations, and I'm not saying that they're not supposed to make money off it, but large corporations make money. And then there's also in the food industry, from time to time, you will hear on news, right, about how they rescinding a piece of meat or something like that in this area or in this store because it may have a disease in it. Do you understand? How good is the grade for passing these meats and vegetables and the stuff that we eat and we put in our body?
Well, the black community has always been the test dummies and the guinea pigs. So we started with the police in this topic, right? We say food, and then you say drugs. So it's like the FDA, Food Drug Administration.
right? Because I know y'all heard Ali said the project. It's a project.
Yes.
All right, it's a project. So I know y'all heard that before. But you're absolutely right. We are the guinea pigs. I mean, you know, our local supermarkets would be the C-towns, the key foods. You know, these are...
And not to cut you off, and if you in the South, the local supermarkets are the Food Lions or the Kroger.
There you go.
You know, the upper
There you go,
echelons
nice.
of food of supermarkets in New York is like Whole Food.
Yes.
In the South, the upper echelon is like Harris Teeter. So you know, and it list goes on.
Yeah, and the appearance of the store just look different.
It's way different.
I mean,
The lighting, the how they say, the ambiance,
right.
is different.
Right, so they know this, right? So they know you live in a poor community. You most likely don't have a car. You travel through transportation. Now that transportation, that the Whole Foods you want to get to, it takes you to a place that's maybe an hour outside of your community. Now you're not going to take the bags, the groceries that you pay $200 or $300 for, and put them on a bus or a train and carry those bags.
Well, you might catch a few people that do it.
No,
now.
you actually do, but the majority.
The majority is not going to do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they want to
Yeah.
come and go.
And that's how they keep you out of there. You know what I'm saying? And in reference to that, you know, you know, there's plenty of categories that we could get into. Supermarkets being one of them. What about the political aspect of, you know, America being hazardous for a black person? The political aspect of it. How do you think they capitalize politically off us not living long, off us not eating right? Off us not, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's an experiment.
Well, I mean,
right? In your mind, like, what do you think the experiment is? Like, is it just gonna replace us? Is it just, you know, if we die off?
It's funding. Everything's about $1.
So you think they make the most money off of people that's broke?
Yeah, why not? The black dollar is the most powerful dollar. You know what I mean? We black people, black Americans in black society, they spend the money before they even get it. You'll hear a young man talk about a Bentley or a Rolls Royce or an iced out chain or the Rolex watch, iced out, flooded, but won't talk about life insurance, won't talk about 401ks, won't talk about building his house and building a real legacy. You know, it's a movie like, the movie was Baby Boy. And Vin Rhames.
Yeah, Vin Rhames.
He came in and said, you know, do you want the guns or butter? Everybody is going for the butter, the things that melt. And it starts off in the black society. You see all the rappers, majority of them, the first thing they do is when they get some money, go buy jewelry. I mean, you know, you want the look of not being tangible. You want to look of the high life in society, but the rich person don't really look like that.
Exactly.
It looks like me or
do
you.
Do you think
just
they're
stressed.
gripping that stuff real quick because they think their life expectancy is short? Do you think?
Usually they grip it because I never had it, I want it. I come from nothing and I want to show I have something. But that doesn't really mean you have something. You just have something for the time being. We end up living a lie. So that is all hazardous because it's mentally brainwashed. A lot of us don't know where we came from, so we don't know where we're going.
That's facts.
So, you know, it's a young man that was on, he signed to Meek Mills. He said, I'm not buying no jewelry until I buy my mama a house or help, you know, his family. And that was the best thing he said in the world. And then you had a young rapper, a little bit, how would you say, I know the lifestyle is to be ignorant and to get caught up in social media and pass it around, but he said some dumb shit. Like, oh, then you ain't getting paid right, you know, he's thinking about his family. And see, that's where they have us already playing against each other.
That's right.
So it's a mental thing.
That's right.
It's mental, and that's the politics of it all. So you really have to sit back and think and say to yourself, where's the role models? You know, so yes, it's definitely hazardous because we don't even stick together.
It's very hazardous.
So it's very hazardous. I'm sorry.
So you think us, you know, believing and taking in that, you know, we do live a short life and we don't know what age we're gonna live to, and it makes it very hazardous. But do you think that this prompt us to want to get everything right away, get rich quicker? And is we wrong for really doing that? Is we really wrong? I mean, as I get older, I think I kind of take the 50-50 side. I'll be like, damn, is it really wrong for us to, want to live that fast life and get to that money quick? I mean, there's tons of people you can allude to, and I can, that have never seen a lot of money.
But then it goes into the saying, the youth is wasted on the young. Because as you grow within age and maturity in life, you understand the real things. And it's never too late to grow, and it's never too late to listen, but the sooner the better. No,
definitely. And it's an extreme amount of pressure for these people who do get money to not only sustain it, but to help out others. I mean, it's almost a no-win situation.
But you can't help nobody unless you can help yourself. So your mind has to grow. And once your mind grows, you don't have to help everybody. It's the 9 out of 10 rule. You're not gonna get everybody.
Yeah, they call it the black tax. I don't know if y'all ever heard of it. It's called a black tax when you get some money and a lot of people think they're entitled to it. Or they think, I need help from this person gotta help me. I need their help. It's mandatory. There's one favor I did for them, now they got money. They should be helping me totally. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to hear some basketball players say when they got rich, everybody in the family asked me for one thing. One thing. You want a car, a house, one thing. Everybody gonna get one thing. After that, don't ask for nothing from me no more. You understand? So we talk about the black tax, that mean pressure, which caused stress, which caused depression. You know what I'm saying? I just saw Delonte West, a former NBA person that was very good friends with everybody know LeBron James. He had mental problems. He checked himself out of a mental institute. He just left it. I don't think he checked himself, but he left it. And he was underneath a bridge getting beat up. They got video of him beating up. He's kind of going crazy. He's kind of going mentally crazy. So my thing is, it could be hazardous. It doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, in the middle. There ain't no middle class. If you're in the middle, it's hazardous all the way.
Let me ask you a question. Is it any class of being black?
Yeah, there's different classes of being black within our black community. As far as comparing it to other.
But to society, you're still a nigga.
No doubt about that. I mean,
they pulled Dr. Dre out of his house.
It bothers me that it keeps happening over and over. It keeps happening over and over. It's like it happens so much you kind of could tell the future if you want to, because it happens so much during the past and the duration into the future. It happens so much that you can actually know what's going on next. And it's crazy how the people come under and they get money and they make the same mistakes that somebody did 30, 40 years ago. It's baffling.
Because nobody's learning.
Yes.
Quote from Will Smith. The only thing that's new is the cameras. So now you have things that protect. You know how you use God? People say God protects fools and babies. These cameras are protecting the fools and the babies. And it's deep when I say that, because it's so much under that topic. But being a black man, the hazard that you have in the beginning is just dealing with your own kind. It's so much self-hate for one another that it's just despicable.
Yeah.
They get to a point you made too much money. Like sometimes you can't even invest into something and put your name on it.
Yeah.
So being a black man in America, or a black person anyway, because when you really break it down and saying hazardous, being black in America, yes, it's hazardous, but it starts with the black man. Because the black man is put at the lowest in the totem pole.
Yes.
Even the black woman gets projected higher than them because they do everything to demasculine us. Everything
not controlled by us, controlled by another group of people.
Yes.
Definitely.
So when you start breaking it down, we have to rise up within ourselves. You have to have knowledge of self and who you are to know where you're going.
So why you think we didn't conquer this hazardous?
Because we was force led. People went with Dr. Martin Luther King and said, and when would I have a dream? And wanted to be segregated. Wanted to be with the people, stop the segregation, wanted to be in the mix. But when we got in the mix, we lost ourselves. Hazardous. Once that happened, it became very hazardous to me, as seeing in society as a black man, because now we once went from being slaves, sharecroppers, to eventually owning something, Black Wall Street, and all these major things.
Have we got in the history to learn?
And then once we sat down and, how would you say, migrated, or however you want to use any word you want to use that bring us together, integrated, all these words that you want to use.
Right, definitely.
We lost everything. Even sticking together, because it was hazardous back then, but we were strong. I think now we're weak, and we're weak not physically, we're weak mentally.
Good point, because I say this all the time, like, I can't believe all this information is within Google, within hand's reach, seconds of you just putting in anything. And for you to learn all this, when back in your time, you had to go to a library, look up archives.
Back in my time.
Yeah. I mean, for the young people, it is back then to them. You understand what I'm saying? We're not old, but to them, it's back then. And the work of archives and looking at old newspapers and stuff like that to get this information. Now it's at the palm of a hand. So my thing is, it's more information readily available, but it's the same concept. Nothing really changed. See, back in our time, we're not that old, but back then they would say, if you want to hide information from black people, what do? You put it in a book.
And let me interject on that, because it's a Middle Eastern country. They have nothing but books in the middle of this town. And they have a saying that a thief won't steal a book.
Nah, not at all.
And I'm going to get the quote correct, and I'm going to put that on food for thought.
Nah, definitely, but you, at the touch of a hand, you have Google, who have more information than we had at our time, right? But it's readily accessible, but none of our people know the information. You should be smarter than back then, but you're not. So that means it's not that information is available. It's not about that at all. It's about a person is willing to learn, like you said.
That they willing to learn, and they also want to question the wrong things. They don't question what's right. They question what's wrong.
I mean, of course they question what's wrong, but okay.
Do you get what I mean by that? Because
I get what you mean by that.
Because it's an oxymoron of what I'm saying.
No, I get what you mean by that. Both sides. I get what you mean by that. Definitely they do that. I mean, that's just right knowledge. But what I'm saying is this, right? When you got Google, you got all this information readily accessible. Now, say there's 20 million pieces of information about Black History Month, just say. There's another 80 million about non-Black history at all. And that 80 million pieces of information, that's the information they're checking for. They're not checking for these 20 million pieces. And out of that 20 million pieces, it's 10 million more pieces than when we was growing up. So there's more information readily accessible, but we're not getting smarter. Because we still only own 1% of everything, as if we did back then in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. So this is what's baffling to me. So it's not about the information. It's not about the information. I told you all the time, what me and Al doing is regurgitated information.
That's it.
This stuff been out there. It's not about the information. It's the fact that I can't believe people are intellectually lazy and they don't want to learn it. That's my problem.
So we know the hazard.
That's very hazardous.
So the hazard.
It's almost like we traded against ourselves.
We did.
And this could never work. Like you told me earlier, you said sometimes we just need a break. Sometimes intellectually, I need a break. Because I can't believe that they're not looking for it. And it's right there in seconds. I can't believe it. We had posted earlier about something about the young lady who said, who is Adolf Hitler? That sounds like a cool rapper's name. And we posted it's not her fault. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I was like, yes, part of it is to blame me, right? I'm the older person. There's younger people than me, right? But it just amazes me when I give the information out, or talk to somebody about that. I think something's so readily available. When they know nothing, it blows my mind, because I'll be like, the information is not available. And the way it is, and then there's a way that's not available. So how do they keep the information not available that makes it hazardous? The books are still not being updated. You had a brother on one of the radio shows who begged for his books to be in schools so they could learn Black information. Even though black information is all over the internet. It's all over the place. An Indian person in India can learn about black information.
So,
yeah.
then that being said, because we don't want to go on a rant.
I can't believe the same old tactics still exist and it's working. By now updating the books. By now putting black books.
on.
By Black History Month coming and the limited learning in schools.
But see, let's get past the month because we black 365.
I mean, yes, but I'm putting
And
emphasis
we
on.
we gave you the hazard. You know what I mean? We gave you the topic of discussion.
We don't have to stop
you
though,
need to,
Al.
you need to sit at the table.
But we don't have to stop because I want to talk to him. I need to talk to him.
So go ahead, man.
And this is why I shouldn't take a break. I shouldn't take a break because it's going to come out worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is hazardous right now for me. This is very hazardous because it's like, damn, like there's no in between for me. I feel like I should stop or go all the way. There's no middle ground for it. Like either I'm going to be frustrated where I'm going to stop or I'm going to have to go all in full revolutionary style. Now, there's different forms of revolutionary. They don't have to be ones where you hurt people. There's other different revolutions. We can stop economics, money.
You know what?
Yeah.
We're giving the people our point of view.
No doubt. And
So,
we definitely want to hear y'all.
This is how I want to do it.
Yeah,
I want
definitely.
to hear your comments. We'll answer back to you. You know what I mean, what you feel is hazardous, being black in society. No matter what race, creed, or culture you from, you could talk about it. And what racism or things of that nature that you experience.
Definitely.
In different countries, they have a lighter shade to darker shade, like in India. You know what I mean? So you can talk about all these things, but we're talking about in America and us being black men. So within that being said, you know what I mean? This conversation just to spark up another conversation within your household. I am not your role model in the beginning. Your parents are. And then from there, your other influencers are your friends, your peers when you grow up in school because you leave home and you hang out with them about 8 hours of a day. So within that being said, I'm Alley Cat.
And this is Twin. And
we the culture.
one and only.
This is All Hearts, White Hate, Addiction.